Done it to myself, innit? I just done it to myself. I'm muting myself again. It's getting difficult without the intro. But big up everyone that's here. Welcome to Never a Foul. I am joined by Daps, joined by a man like Sava as well, all the way from Football Heritage TV, which you can check out in the description below. And of course, Mr. Mo, and the famous, infamous Mo, the one that's turning into a villain. What we got? What's everyone saying tonight, man? Because I feel quite good on a Sunday. I'm missing football a little bit.
You muted us all, so I started talking.
Yeah, no, I said I was going to mute you.
I'm good, man. I'm in a happy mood.
Yeah. Can tell that.
No, what's that behind you?
It's just a picture in this apartment. I don't know what it is, to be honest.
Spread from Man United.
For some reason, I'm going to say it. I just thought it was some potentially racist flag, it looked like.
I see where you're coming.
I thought it was someone with their legs open. Can anyone see? I feel like it. I thought it was someone with their legs open.
I actually never looked at this because it's in the kitchen. It's a weird picture.
Is it a picture? That is a foot. Is that a foot? What the? You know what? When you go on holiday to places and you like get an Airbnb or a villa, some of the artwork in there are actually mad strange. Like, oh, he's gone.
No, there we go. Today we're going to be talking about if Man City and Chelsea are the incomings a bit too late at this moment of time. I know it's only not even halfway through July, but this Gavardio deal is taking a bit too long. Departures are taking quite long for Man City as well. On top of that, Chelsea have had a lot of outgoings, but not a lot of incomings. And you'd think they would like a striker before they go into pre-season. You think they'd like a DM before they go into pre-season, and it's just not hit the targets at the moment. And of course, another target of Bayern Munich, Harry Kane. It looks like he definitely, according to Sky, I think it's Sky Germany, I saying he definitely wants to go over there, but 80 million euro bid, that's a bit pathetic, I think. I must say. But other than that, that's going to be the debate topic.
Now, that's the debate topics. For me, when Kaz said who he had on later, and Love Sava coming on, and I was like, oh, is Mo on? And he said, yeah. And I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. So, you know what?
Why is that?
Mo, you know why. Like, this is going to be interesting. That's all I'm saying.
Do I know why?
It's getting now into the point where, like, it's interesting with me and...
well, at last you're interested.
Interesting with me and Staffy. Yeah, it looks like it. This is what you're saying.
Staffy? What do you mean Staffy?
Like when I'm with Staffy, I get him rattled all the time. He's like, "Why?"
No, you're with everyone, bro. You have agendas against everyone, and I'm just looking forward to see, because I know Sava won't put up with your nonsense. Yeah, so I'm just thinking,
no one's nonsense.
This will be fireworks, because you will try it at some point. You will try it, right? And then I know Sava will snap back, and I'm good, because today I'm not even going to let you rattle me. I'm just going to sit back and think this is going to be fun. So.
It's gonna be fun. But I met a legend, guys. I met Gustavo Frings. If you know, you know.
If anyone's watched Breaking Bad, the chicken shop guy, or if anyone's watched The Mandalorian,
oh, that's who it was, the chicken shop man.
Or Gustavo Frings from Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
that chicken shop man was intimidating. You know, that chicken shop man was hell.
And he is intimidating. So one kid went to tell him, "I want to take a picture with you. Can you give me a minute? I'm calling my brother." He's like, "But I ain't got a minute." He literally told the kid this.
Has he got the same voice, like the slow, deep,
same exact?
But hold on,
same exact.
In Breaking Bad, didn't he? He was very factual as well, wasn't he? Very matter of fact. Very
yes.
I swear he was. So to tell, and especially did the way you described that as well was a bit mad, because you said the boy said to him, "I need to take a picture with you," or something like that. Maybe that's why he said it back. If the boy actually was rude like that and didn't ask, told him.
No, he was so like, "Oh my God, I love you so much," blah blah blah, all this talk, and he's like, "But can you give me a minute?
I just have
to call my brother." And like,
yeah, that's why. I know Mo did this, because if you see Mo's picture, right, you can see
so happy in it.
He's like he's quickly taking it and then he's ran
away.
Not
really.
Yeah, that was you, Mo, isn't it? That was you, Mo, isn't it?
Not really.
And you can see you on your tiptoes. I can tell you on your tiptoes, and you're trying to, get the camera for a selfie with him.
My wife.
I'll be honest. Everything you guys have just said, like
over your head,
absolutely no idea.
Oh, thanks.
You haven't watched Breaking Bad, or?
Do you know what? I've tried twice and I can't get past about 5 or 6 episodes. I find it really
I hear you.
boring. really
For
boring.
me,
It's a slow
it's
burner.
the best show to ever be
No,
made.
it is.
on TV.
But Mo, admittedly, I got told
Yes,
early
very
doors,
slow.
it's a slow
Very slow.
burner. Like,
Yeah,
and I did
yeah.
with
Yes.
what's the follow on the
Gideon.
Soul
Better Call
thing?
Saul. Better Call
I
Saul.
couldn't get into that at all. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Nah,
I
because
just
of
gave
that.
up
It's a
on that.
slow burner as well. It takes a
Yeah.
season or so to get into the story. So yeah.
Breaking Bad was banging. It's not as good as for
Yeah.
me. I keep saying it. I absolutely love Sons of Anarchy. That's my
Oh,
favorite.
now that's
Sons
a
of Anarchy
show.
Wicked. Now that's a proper show.
Now that's a
Yeah.
proper show with a proper
That is
ending. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
the
that.
ending. Woo!
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ending.
yeah.
I didn't want it to end because I was like, I'm
No
not ready to
spoilers.
say goodbye to these characters. And the one where who's the main guy in it again?
I can't remember his
Oh
name
yeah,
though.
Charlie Hunnam.
When
Jax.
he has to watch, when Jax has to watch his best mate get beat to death in prison is mad.
In my mind, I feel like I'm as cool as Jax, but I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's a bit of Jax in all of that. Yeah, all right. I'm here you go. I'm waiting for this from. Yeah, go on. Look, Kaz wants to say something. Look, I can see that.
For me, the one was Jax's mum. For me, there's a bit of Jax's mum in all of our mums as well. And I don't mean the sexual bit.
No, I don't think there's no Jackson. My mom.
But the way she thinks she's doing everything for a good reason, but it's like, nah, you're doing it for your reason, not a good reason.
When you invited me on to a late night show, I had no idea this is the subject we were going down. But
we're not. I mean,
knowledge.
that
we
will come soon.
We do this kind of like set 6 to 8 minutes of just talking rubbish, and then we just get into the football. Really, more time on it.
To be honest, I've heard most of you talk football, and it's not just 8 minutes of rubbish. It's normally your whole show when it's you, Kaz. So
yeah, that's why we got you with us. That's why we got you with us.
Oh, Mo,
You
don't
complete the
start.
picture.
I'll take the cleaners at some point.
You complete the picture.
Don't worry, mate. Don't worry.
Right then. So where are we starting then?
I feel like we need to start with the main subject of Harry Kane. I think we should get that out of the window first because it's just the most relevant transfer before any debate that's going to take about half an hour or more just to go through the different opinion. Harry Kane that says he's definitely wanting to go to Bayern. Sava, I know for fact you're one of the guys that want Harry Kane to get gone because you want the money, right?
Whoa. Hang on. We've got a caveat that before that gets clipped. For me, I want him gone if he doesn't want to sign a new contract. You can't let him go on a free. You simply can't let a player of Harry Kane's ability walk out the door on a free. So for me, it's, are you planning on staying? Yes or no? If you have got no interest in signing a new contract, I am selling you. But the problem you've got is, look, the bid today was what, 80 million euros. That's 68 million pounds. And I don't think I'm saying this because I'm Spurs. 68 million pounds for one of the best strikers in world football is an insult. Levy's not selling him for 68 million pounds. That bid's going to need to be about 95, 98 million pounds sterling. He's not selling him for 68 million pounds.
So here's the question then. If it's only 68 million pounds on the table for you, and he's only willing to sell him to Bayern Munich, is he worth 68 million pounds for next year? Is his football worth 68 million pounds? Or you sell him for 68 million pounds?
It's a good question, Mo. But listen, what I would do is irrelevant. Daniel Levy's not selling him at 68 million pounds. Daniel Levy's one of the toughest negotiators in world football. This is his prized asset. There is not a chance that there is going to be any form of, oh, actually, yeah, give us another 5 and we'll sell him. That will be rejected. In the next couple of hours, I expect to see Romano say it's been rejected, and then it's down to them to come back with a real offer because it's 68 million pounds. Levy's never. People are saying in the chat, stop gassing, guys. If you don't know Daniel Levy, you don't know Daniel Levy. He's not letting him go over 68.
Do you know what? Right. So in these big corporations, I'm going to see football clubs as big corporations. Yeah, they have people that know information that we don't know. Right. So they probably have a bit more of an idea of, let's say, Man United, and a bit more of an idea of if Qatar really is happening and what the chance of it going through and whatever. Now, I'll be honest with you. If Qatar come in and don't quite come in time for this transfer window, but they come in time for January, they could probably get more than 68 million off Man United in January for Kane. January.
Maybe.
Like and he'll know things like that. He will know. I think it's this Kane thing's so interesting from how he is approaching it and what's going on in his head. Because as a man, when you're facing a very serious decision, and with everything else going on in life, like new kids and all of that on the way, it can be quite daunting for him to work out what he actually wants. Yeah, but then you're right, Levy. I get he wanted about 120. If it was a Premier League club right this summer, I think he'd probably. What do you think he'd accept off of United this summer? 110.
I think if it's a Premier League club, it's going to be 120. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's worth that. This is Daniel Levy, right? He's not going to let him go to Man United for. I reckon. Look, I think Bayern Munich. I think if the number starts with a 9, and I don't mean 9 million. I think if the number starts with a 9, million, I think you've got a deal. You're getting him out of the Premier League. Yeah, you've not lost him to a rival. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind, and then you've got 90 million that you can put back in for the new manager to look at. Because you're not going to replace him, Daps, right? Spurs can't go and buy a striker of Harry Kane's
quality. It's like De Bruyne. Yeah, it's like if we want to
however,
replace De Bruyne, you can't.
However, Sava, people are looking at Harry Kane knowing that he can walk on free next year, offer him a big wage and offer him a signing bonus, and they would say maybe that 1 year is not worth 90 million. It's only worth 68 million. His football for that year is worth 68 million. For not only for Spurs, it's for other clubs as well, because this is how people are looking at it. He's too good to go down. I believe that Harry Kane will go on for like 4 or 5 years. I believe that at the age of 31, he can give you, he's like a Lewandowski, even better than Lewandowski, can give you until 35 top-notch football. So they are not going to say 90 million. Yeah, we want to give him in this year. Unless he signs a new contract, I think 90 million is too much for that year. They can wait that year. It's not worth 90 million.
Mo, I'm going to tell you this right now. This bid will be rejected there'll be no nonsense. Daniel Levy will reject this bid. The next bid that will come in will need to be huge. It needs to be huge. I think Daniel Levy is so proud that he would rather lose him on a free than let him go for £68 million.
Do you know what? I hear that.
Are there any same people around Daniel Levy? I'm sorry. Maybe you're the best one to tell me this, because I said that before. I said at the end of the window, if nobody comes for Kane, and he doesn't sign a new contract, someone will whisper in his ear and say, "Listen, now it's not turning into football; it's now business. You're literally losing your asset for free in 12 months." Is there any same people around him?
As no one thought that maybe he looks at it thinking, I can get 100 million for Kane. But if we keep Kane, we can get into the Champions League next season. And that's probably exactly the same amount of money as what we're going to sell Kane for. And that's what I think it would be.
With Madison,
or he might think along the lines of, we'll keep Kane till January. Someone will fork up 70 to 80 million at that point if they want to go win the Champions League potentially, or the Premier League maybe, if we're in good position. Then we go buy a striker and do our research from there. And let's see where Tottenham are in January. Let's say Tottenham are, let's say that 4th or 3rd, or whatever they might be in the table. It's like, we can go from here. There's a very good chance that we could solidify Champions League football, right? We might need only to be 5th this year. And someone thought of it like that.
That's very true.
It's true. Of course.
Make him sign a contract. Say, look, here's the new contract. This means you can stay here for 1 more year, but you got a release clause. If someone hits that release clause, you can leave. We get a bit of money, and the Tottenham fans will be happy that the fact that you signed a new contract, you got us a bit of money for next summer. There we go, and then it won't be extended.
So you're saying Spurs should beg the player? That's what you're saying.
I also think that when you just said it might become a business thing, and it might has Levy got people around him. I think it's very, very clear that. Of course, firstly, Levy definitely has shrewd businessmen around him. We know that. But Levy will do what he wants to do. I think we know that, bro. We know that 1,000,000%. Doesn't matter who you put around him. He will do what he wants to do. And sometimes, however shrewd Levy is, he also loves power. He loves power. And this is about him not looking...
Give me an example of a situation like this.
Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale at the time, he managed to get the second highest transfer fee of all time at the time for Gareth Bale. Listen, I can assure you guys,
very smart, Sava. Sorry, very smart. But at the end, he sold the player. But now, if you don't sell the player this window, there is no other opportunity
for near on a world record fee though,
and out of England,
68 million.
I agree with you.
Havertz just went for 65.
But he's a fantastic businessman, can negotiate. But I'm saying business-wise, at the end of the window, you'll have to sell him. Otherwise, you do what Cass said, which is beg the player. You're literally going to be begging the player to sign a contract, petty contract with a release clause. This is what it's called, right? Because if he was to sign a contract, he would have signed it last year.
Trust me, Daniel Levy's been the chairman of Tottenham for 23 years. He's the longest serving chairman in the league. Yeah. He's the longest serving chairman in the league. We know this guy inside out. Every summer, every Spurs fan knows how it's going to play out. And people go, no, have faith in this and that. We know how it's going to play out. It's the same with every transfer. I can assure you, and I think if there are any Spurs fans in the chat, I've seen a few of them already saying, yeah, Daniel Levy is never gonna listen to 68 million. And it don't matter who comes in around him and goes, Daniel, you might want to take 68. He's
what does 68 million get you this year? What does 68 million to get you these days for a top quality striker?
Well, bro, here's a prime example. Hold on, Mo. Here's a prime example of that. At the moment, United are trying to find a striker because they can't afford Kane potentially at the moment.
Right.
Yeah? And look at who they're looking at. That's what that type of money gets you.
How many goals did Højlund, not Haaland, get last year for Atalanta? And they want is 80 million.
That's in the league, I think.
So that's what it gets you.
Yeah,
you know
but there's something you're missing here. No, yeah, but there's a big thing you're missing. The resale value for Højlund. Højlund, they can pay 70 million and they can sell him for 100.
You're obsessed with this resale thing, bro. This is the Premier League, not La League, not Italy, bro. Stop this resale thing.
You don't understand my point. If it doesn't work with Højlund, if it doesn't work with Højlund, they still can sell the guy. But
Mo, let me ask you a question. Right?
Yeah.
In all honesty, right? Forget that I'm a Spurs fan. I like to think that, Kaz, you work with me enough to know now that I'm not biased, right? But if you are looking at Harry Kane, he's one of the best free strikers in world football. This guy guarantees goals. There's no risk to him. There is zero risk to any club in the world buying Harry Kane. He puts the ball in the back of the net for fun. Daniel Levy knows this. For him to go, he's got, at the moment, not in a year's time, at the moment, all the power is with Levy. He can demand whatever he wants. Now, Daniel Levy's got a way up in his head. What is that magic number which will offset letting him go as a free next year as opposed to now? So like Kaz said, if you get 68 million, is it worth the risk of keeping Kane, hoping that Kane can fire us in? It's been done before. I'm not saying we're great, but Kane could, with 30 goals plus Maddison around him, Son getting back to form, fire us into the top 5 and get Champions League football. Now, all of a sudden, Kane, if Kane goes on a free, he's got Champions League money to recoup that. So it's a dangerous game. It's a game of Levy's making. This is his fault. This is all his fault. But I can categorically tell you now that Harry Kane is worth more than 68 million, whether he's got 1 year or not. And anyone buying him is getting a guaranteed 30 plus goals. He got 30 goals in an awful Tottenham team last year. Now imagine him in anyone else's team like Bayern or United.
Sava, and on that point, when, say, Levy is negotiating, he's looking at the clubs that are coming in for him, right? Like anyone would. Like anyone going into negotiations will look at the club coming in for him and work out how much Kane is worth to them, right? So let's look at Bayern. We played Bayern home and away last season, especially away. I can tell you now, if they had Harry Kane, they would have been a completely different team when we played them away.
Yeah.
They got the ball to a certain point in the pitch and then they had zero threat, right? Kane to Bayern Munich is worth a lot of money. The other team that's being hovered around him is Man United. Kane to Man United with what Man United need is worth a lot of money. So to both of them, he's looking at both of them going, I know you need him. Like you both need
But
Harry
Daps
Kane.
also look around Europe, right? I always ask this question. How many strikers guarantee you 25 plus goals in all competitions for the last 5 years? Consistently. Who? Kane?
5 max.
Haaland.
Mbappe?
Haaland.
Mbappe?
Benzema.
And Benzema.
Did Benzema?
Lewandowski.
No, you've got to take away.
And Lewandowski. Okay.
Ronaldo was there.
Okay, so Lewandowski and Benzema. So those
Take
six,
Benzema and
right?
Lewandowski. Take them out.
This is my point. Mo, this is my point. You take Benzema out, he's gone. You take Lewandowski out, he's 35, 36, and he's playing at Barcelona. No one's getting him. You take Mbappe out, right? Because to get Mbappe, you're talking 150 odd million, right? So you take Mbappe out. You take Erling Haaland out. That man's not signing for anyone. Who you got left that guarantees you goals? Guarantees. It's Harry Kane.
No. There's only no. Don't get me wrong. He is the best striker out there in terms of like a whole package. In terms of like, he's not only a number 9. He can create. He can get involved. He can play behind the striker. Like, he is everything. I think that Harry Kane, I've seen enough to say that he's everything.
Also,
he's literally, apart from penalties against France in the World Cup, that's a completely different story.
And maybe clutch moments.
By the way, people are saying,
the numbers are there.
I'm talking about
number 9s.
Yeah, number 9.
I'm talking about number 9s.
And the problem is,
and Osimhen's done it for 1 year, hasn't he?
Yeah. Harry Kane is worth probably, to be honest with you, in this current market, Harry Kane is worth 150 million pounds. The reason why I'm saying that, if Napoli are valuing Osimhen at 150 or 140, Harry Kane is better than Osimhen. Just get it straight. The problem, exactly. And also, he has a longer contract. Here comes the whole change of everything is that the 1 year contract, and he is not signing a new contract because there is nothing reported that he will sign a new contract. That's the biggest problem. That's why Man United are looking at it like, maybe we can wait another year.
I still think we get him on a free next year. That's we're going to go in for him in January. Depending on, I just think it's either January or next year on a free because he's not going to go nowhere else. The only likely destination for me, if he's got a choice of any club in the world to go grab him, it'll be Man United because I think he would want to stay in England. That's just the way he is. Overall,
if he stays in England, Kaz, if he stays in England, it won't be Chelsea. It won't be Arsenal. You can remove those two immediately, right?
Yeah, it won't be Man City.
I think the only 2 clubs that will get him on a free, I think it will be Man City or Man United, depending on what happens with Haaland, depending on what Pep wants to do. Saying if he goes on a free next year, I think there's only 2 clubs that he would go to. I think one is Man City and one is Man United.
No, City won't.
I don't know why I'm still convinced that Man United will bid 90 million or 100 million for him at the end of the window.
Oh no, I can see that potentially. Potentially.
I just can't. I just can't see it personally, just because I just don't believe in my club to do something like that. It's a
good place to be, bro. That's a very good place to be.
Man United have a good history of bidding for quality players when it comes to a week left in the window and pulling something out of the hat. But you just don't do. We ain't done it since with Levy, since Berbatov, and he made us wait to the very, very end when he was meant to. Apparently, you told me that. I didn't even know this. He was meant to go Man City, and then Fergie come and grabbed him and said, "Nah, you're coming here."
Well, another one is there was Ronaldo.
You won't get him for 90 million. You won't get him for 90 million, Kaz, as well. Not in the UK. That's the difference. Yeah. I think Bayern get him for 90. I think if Man United want him, I think it needs to look at 110, 115. I truly believe Daniel Levy is that guy.
Pay it. If it's at the end of the window and I see Qatari and I'm like, pay it now, today.
Yeah, I think that's the key to you. The key is Qatari. That's where I see it. I think that's why at the moment you're looking at the strikers you're looking at is because, like I said to you earlier, Kaz, I think honestly, United are where they are, where they don't know where they are. Ten Hag doesn't know who's going to be managing them. Driving them from the top moving forward. But I think he said, no matter what, I need to fill some gaps for next season. So tell me what budget I've got, and I work with what I've got. He's not waiting for Qatari. Like Ten Hag is not waiting. So
you shouldn't do that. It's risky.
No, and you shouldn't. He's spot on with that. It's way too risky. That's why I think he's looking at the lower level strikers that are costing 30, 40 million less, because he knows at the moment he can't bid. And that's why I think the fact that they're young, the ones he's looking at, is because if he gets them and Qatar does come in time, he can then still go for Kane and have a young understudy. So, but I think the only way you get Kane is Qatar.
No, I'm interested that he said Man City, because I can just see it being a thing like, I've got Haaland or Kane to play with, and I might even use it's not
both.
Kane and Haaland can play with each other, by the way.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, they could, but I can't see it, man. I can't see it.
No, I can't see it.
Since we have Sava here, I wanted to ask you a question. If that move happens this year to Man United for whatever number that happens, where does that put Man United? I'm not. I don't want expectations. I want honest opinion. Where does that put Man United in the ranking of like contenders? Are they just top 4? Are they league contenders? Or where they are?
I think it puts them in. I think it puts them. If Harry Kane was at Man United and was fit, people say he's injured a lot. He hasn't been injured for years, by the way. If Kane played every single league game for Man United, they will be a hell of a lot closer to Man City. I think they'll be within 6-7 points minimum. And if that's what we're constituting as a title challenge, you look at Rashford's goals, right? You now chuck in Harry Kane got 30 for us. Harry Kane would be. I've seen Man United fans say like they wouldn't want Harry Kane.
Mental, like, by the way.
I don't think they realise how good a footballer he is as well as a goal scorer. Like he'd be phenomenal for Man United. And I genuinely think it makes them challenge. I don't think they'd win it. I just think Man City have got too much for everyone, but they'll be in a title race.
We spoke about it last night, Mo. I think it was last night. I'm pretty certain it was last night, where we were talking about Man United and talking about, like, forget their defence is their defence. Then we were talking about the midfield of Casemiro, Bruno and Mount. And then someone said, okay, at the moment, maybe you might say it lacks a little bit of creativity, right? All of a sudden, if you put Rashford left, and whether it be Anthony on the right or maybe someone else on the right, I actually think Anthony on the right. I think Anthony's going to come good, by the way. There's something about him that just looks that little bit threatening to me when he's on the ball. If he gets to grips with it, I think he could be very threatening. And then you put Kane through the middle. So front three with Rashford, Kane and Anthony, with Mount, Bruno, and
you're getting about 50 goals out of that. You get 50, I think you get about 45, 50 goals.
I think that's a good. All of a sudden, United add Kane, and because the fact Kane brings you goals and creativity, all of a sudden it changes Man United massively. Like really, really does change them. I agree with that.
I agree. I'll back my club.
Can I ask another question? Does he change every team to title contenders, including Arsenal already at Chelsea, Liverpool, everyone?
Yes.
So why not Spurs?
Oh Jesus! Really? Because all of the clubs you've just mentioned there have got players all over the park that are very good, but not a goal scorer. Spurs are the complete opposite. We haven't got players all over the park, but we've got the goal scorer. You know, Spurs conceded 63 goals last year. It don't matter. We could have had Messi and Kane up front. If you're conceding 63 goals in a season, you're not winning titles. We're miles off it. We're absolutely miles off it. Look, Kane for me, does he turn everyone into title challengers? Look, it depends, right? Everyone plays football differently, but what he does do automatically is he goes in, he adds 20, 25, 30 goals in all competitions, plus he'll give someone 10, 15 assists. So straight away, he gives you like 50 odd goal contributions in a season. And
that wins you the league, bro. That wins you the league. If you have one player does that.
But it depends, because the thing is, we can say this and it's the same, and I'm sure we might get onto this later or might not, but it's like when people are saying, oh, Arsenal have bought this player and that player and that player. Yeah, it makes them stronger, but it doesn't make Man City weaker. That's the problem. You can strengthen all you want, but Man City are at the moment impenetrable. But and that's the thing.
We had this conversation. But we've had this conversation with Mo before, where Mo said that if United get these players, they improve, or even if people stay. But if everyone else is also making improvements, then if you improve on an 8 and change your team to a 9, and a 7 improves and turn it to an 8, you're still behind the 9. And that is, I think, and do you know what? I'll be very clear with it. I honestly think next season for Man United, if they do exactly the same as they did this year, even if they finish 4th this year, we're going into, and maybe still have a little bit of a run in the Champions League and get to a final. I think where Man United are right now, and the fact that the ownership and the full direction of the club is currently uncertain, I think that would be an okay season.
Sorry, can I just quickly say something? Sorry, I one of the big things I'm really into in life, and especially on YouTube, is the understanding that there's 2 of these, right, and 1 of these. And the reason I say that is not on you. There's someone in the chat called Jordan Davis who said nonsense talk. So teams should just give up and let City win. That's not what I said. What I said was, it doesn't matter how good teams are. If there is one team that is so much better, they will naturally win it. No one said give up. I literally just said that if Man U got Kane, they'd challenge. But Man City, all of a sudden, if Kane goes to Man United, right? Do Man City suddenly forget how to play teams off the park? Do Man City suddenly forget how to defend and keep the ball? Does Vardy suddenly turn into a bad buy if they get him over the line? It's not a case. Sometimes you can have all these teams that are catching you and they're trying to buy, but what Man City have got that these other clubs haven't got is consistency, a well-gelled squad that know each other, a manager that's been there for years and years and years that is a winner over and over and over again. And you can't buy that and build it in one summer. So for me, stick Declan Rice in Arsenal, top player. I'm not going to say he's not because I'm Spurs, top footballer. Stick Timber in there. That's great. I still don't look at Arsenal and think, yeah, you're strong. You're strong enough.
He didn't mention Havertz. Did you notice? He didn't mention Havertz at all. He didn't even say his name.
I didn't listen. I can mention Havertz. Listen, whoever it is, at the end of the day, like this guy is. I don't know who he is, but he's saying Man City squad is aging. Wait.
Don't. Jordan Davies has Mo on ropes. Don't worry. He loves this. Don't worry.
Who said? Sorry, anyone that says
but he doesn't know a lot about football, does he? That's the problem. It's like you can have someone on ropes, but if you don't know football, Man City ain't aging.
The thing is with Man City, anyone that says that, like, it's like when people say loads of players are leaving. We're going to move on to City. Probably this is a great way.
I saw it. And I thought.
This aging thing.
Never foul do that to you. Never foul chat do that to you.
the way that City are moving ultimately is like the average age of City's team and the way it is managed with the people that leave and the youngsters that come in, right? If anyone thinks this is not Liverpool Football Club, the owners, Pep, the sporting director, they know the average age. They know the age of the players and they move them on at the right time. And there's a reason why we're going out for Vardy, right? The age thing. Yeah. So anyone that says about the age of City squad, you don't really deep what's going on at City. So, right, do you want to go on the super chats, Cass?
Yeah. Big up Donna. What? Cass is the cutest YouTuber around.
Woo! Do you know who this is a parody account of?
Is that looks like the who's the wife of Bill Clinton or something like that?
Donna Cullen is one of the chief executives on the board at Tottenham Hotspur, and is hated universally by Spurs fans.
She just got better.
Yeah, and thanks to my mum again. She says, Mr. Sava is bold and courageous with his opinions. She's trying to get she's trying to win the
professionally written that as well.
Yeah, that very was
bold and courageous.
Bold. I think she meant old, not bold. Old and courageous.
It's not one of yours.
Old and outrageous.
It's not one of your subscribers.
Yeah.
Tottenham must be.
Yeah. Guys, if you're in here, make sure you smash the like button, please. We're 24 of 200. We've got 700 in the chat at the moment. Make sure you subscribe to Football Heritage TV's in the pin. You can see it in the chat right now. Sav's not just Tottenham Hotspur football talk as well. It's generic, just like this channel, and he has very good debates, even with my granddad, Mr. Dave. He supports Nottingham Forest. So, and yeah, man, and you see people like my mum called Donna Cullen in his chat trying to win him over. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you like that and go subscribe over there. What are we on for likes? That 10 people liked it. Oh, you guys, what, you lot suck tonight or something? Come on, man. Yeah, I could be like, who's Sam and talk to you guys like rubbish, but I like my chat.
We respect our chat. We do respect our chat.
Actually, the chat is
HM. I don't like
one of the
everyone else.
One of the panelists triggered and answer a question without even sending a super chat is a fantastic work for this chat.
Yeah, I like our chat. Bar
Just to let you know, the chat don't always respect you, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't matter.
Neither do we, to be fair. But moving on. Yeah, moving on. We're going to talk about now Chelsea and Man City. We can do either or just mix them up all in all. Are they taking too long with their transfer incomings? A lot of outgoings, even outgoings from Man City, to be fair. Laporte's taking a while. We still don't know about Mahrez. We still don't know really about Bernardo Silva's future. Kyle Walker's 50-50. I read up as well. I don't know if I've missed out anyone. Gvardiol, it's like it's taken forever. Only one transfer each. Kovacic and Jackson, if I'm correct, for Chelsea. So it's pre-season time next week.
Pitch in here.
Yeah, of course, and it's just like
So
what
for
do
anyone
you
that
guys
doesn't
think?
know, I helped Cass pick the subject today because
I'm very proud because this is first time in like 2 months.
I'll just leave it to Cass usually. But I was speaking with Steve about it earlier, and it made me think, you know what, we should probably talk about it. We're in a weird position. Firstly, Manchester City are in a very, very good position. We've just won a treble, right? And right now, do we need to do much? Right now, no, we don't, right? Like, the fact is, we've got linked with Declan Rice, we've been linked with De Jong, we've been linked with Kimmich. However, the truth is, I'd rather keep Bernardo Silva than any of them, right? But that's the issue. We don't know if we're keeping Bernardo Silva or not. And the other issue is, it's not free. It's not like Gundogan where he's going. It's like someone needs to offer us money.
Yeah.
Right? Same with Laporte. We want Vardiol, but someone needs to offer money for Laporte. Barca are interested. Barca don't have money, right? So then you've got Walker. For me, Walker is happy at City. Walker knows his age. He knows his job. He knows his role. To get Walker away from City, I honestly believe someone has to come in and pay him more. That's the only way Walker's going to leave City. Pay me more, I'll go. Otherwise, I'm happy where I am, no problem. And then Mahrez. And Mahrez, again, there's the fact that one, he has to agree to go there, and two, we have to negotiate. But the issue there is, at the moment, because we're waiting on other clubs, what do? We can't go out, because if we go out and start splashing the cash, buying players, we end up with a big squad like Chelsea, and we end up with having to manage the harmony of the squad. So at the moment, it's a difficult one for City, because we are in a good position, the here and now. But if we start getting offers and players aren't happy and do want to leave,
you guys are the pros at this. You guys are the pros. Let's be fair. Look, Gundogan's gone. You bought in Kovacic, right? Let's be honest. You're talking to Vardiol. What more do you really need to do unless you get outgoings? If I'm a Man City fan, I'm not sitting there mad going, oh my God, I need centre backs, I need centre mids, I need forwards. I'm looking at it going, all right, we'll just replace whoever wants to leave. Like, Man City are in the perfect position.
So you are spot on, and ultimately, that is the way I see it. Secondly, I trust with the way that our board does their business, right? However, it's a subject because I'm starting to get messages off of City fans saying, when's Vardiol coming? What's happening here? Is this person going to stay? And it's like, it's mad that you say that you are spot on. We're in a perfectly good position, right? But the City fan base needs to calm down, because the City fan base is now like, oh, if we don't get this player, our board's letting us down. And it's mad, but there are elements of City's fan base that have forgot what happened 3 or 4 weeks ago and are now pushing that. And even rival fans saying, City are letting their players go. They're an aging squad and they're not going to be as good as last season because loads of players have left them. The truth is, we just need to know. And for me, the key to it all is Bernardo Silva. Is he staying?
Where are you weak, Daps? Where are? I mean, I get this all the time. I always get called an undercover Man City fan or whatever because I think they're brilliantly run. I mean, forgive me for thinking that the treble winners.
Don't worry, I've been through this. By the way, so there was a period where, like, Man City won the treble, and it was just before then, and I was just bigging up Man City. It's like, how you expected me to troll Daps and Man City? Like, I can't. It's
how
impossible.
can you exactly? But so, like, sitting here right now as fans that don't support Man City. Can anybody, honestly, I'm not talking about trolls you get in chats. Can anybody seriously look at Man City and go, oh, they're a bit weak there? This is a team that literally gave other teams like a 6-month head start before they decided they were going to start playing properly and won a treble. This is a team that we were all told, oh, Erling Haaland, in his first year is going to need time to settle in. Well, he's had his settling in year with his 60-odd goals. And he's going to start the season fine. This is a team that have players like Mahrez, Alvarez, and Foden on a bench. Like, where are they weak?
And this
where
is
are Man City weak?
And this is the key. Right now, we're not. For me, we're not. The only weakness right now at Manchester City is not knowing, because I think the whole thing with Bernardo Silva now is Pep wants him to stay. Pep's realised it. Pep knows he wants Bernardo to stay. He's trying to get him to sign. Right now, Pep, I think Bernardo is on his honeymoon with his missus. So when Bernardo gets back, we'll find out what's going on. But then I I just don't see Bernardo going to Saudi Arabia. I don't. It's hard because the amount of money is being offered, but I don't see that. So then I do see Mahrez going. And if Mahrez goes, we had this conversation yesterday. I think if Mahrez goes, we have to get a winger as a replacement. I think we do have to, but we're not weak until players leave. And I guess that is off of us. Do we want to sell them, or are we going to hold on to them for a year and let them go on a free? Which we have to remember with Bernardo Silva, he's wanted to go for 4 transfer windows. We've kept him. Has his form dips? No, it hasn't, right? So we already know that Bernardo Silva won't throw his toys out the pram if City say, we haven't had a good enough offer. We're keeping you. So
they should strip that attack anyway, so they can just score at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for once.
Oh, well, that's the key. That's where we're weak. That's where we're weak. That's what Pep said when Pep got asked. He said, "Well, if you win the treble and the three-peat, what next?" He said, "Hopefully score a goal at Tottenham Stadium next season."
I just think, look, at the end of the day, I think Man City will do the right things. If players go for a new challenge, you will replace them. Yeah. I actually think Arsenal are doing good business. I don't just mean this year. I mean the last few years. I think Arsenal have and I hate that I'm saying that Arsenal have done some good business. They're getting a lot of young players, and better than that, what Arsenal have done in the last 6 months is they've tied down all of their best young players to really long contracts.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just City, but City are the benchmark in any sport. Right. It's like in tennis. Sorry, not to have a tennis discussion, but it's like in tennis, everyone looks at Djokovic. That's your benchmark. Yeah. Every tournament you go into, he's going to be favourite for a reason. And more often than not, he wins. Unfortunately, that's life, right? We have that in all sports. And Man City at the moment, because it goes in cycles, Man City are the team to beat. And if there's freshening up, but let's be fair. I think the beauty of what Man City have is it's not like you've got an 11 that you stick with week in, week out. You've got loads of players that can come in and freshen it up already. So I don't think you need to do too much. I just think it's going to be a case of replacing Walker if he goes, replacing Silva if he goes. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think you need to do.
You know what? That's the interesting part, because we were talking about this. It's like it is coming to preseason. I've never really known City to do late business either. And it's along the lines, who they even link to, other than the odd link to Frankie de Jong, the odd link to whoever else there might be. I just don't know in midfield, other than Declan Rice, midfield, strike, any attack or anything along the free. Anyways, I haven't seen nothing.
No, but you've got to look. We've got but Cass, we've just won a treble, right? Gundogan has gone, an aging player on a free. We've brought in Kovacic, right? Laporte. It's pretty clear from the end of last season and the fact that apparently we're willing to take 25 million for him, that Laporte is going to be on the way out. We know that Vardiol we're working on. We know that he's agreed personal terms and it's just a case. So, and I do think someone said the other day, there's probably a point that we don't want to bring him in until Laporte is gone, right? So that's lined up. What more can we do? Like what more can we do?
You know, it's not even that. It's just like we were talking earlier. It's like we're going to talk like the preparations for pre-season and how vital we've been talking about Man United, how vital is Arsenal getting their Declan Rice quickly. I think it'll be done by Monday. I think it'll be announced tomorrow. It should be, since the medical was Friday with Timber along them lines. Manchester United got to get Onana done before we go off to I think it's Norway or something to play Leeds, something along those lines.
But I think with City, Cass, with what you're saying there, I think with City, that if I'm being honest, with the season we had, you've got to remember we had the FA Cup, then we had the Champions League, and then we had the parade and the drinking that followed that.
So it's normal to do late business because everyone's knackered basically.
No, I think that we know City start badly, and there's that especially the last couple of years because of COVID and whatever else and internationals, City have started badly. Usually in the Charity Shield, we play a weak side because some players have only been back in training for about 4 or 5 days, right? That when we go on our tour, there are going to be younger players that Pep, like McAtee, players like that Pep.
Where's Peroni's position, by the way?
I have a question.
Calvin Phillips. These players that Pep wants to see what they can bring.
I have a question
like
about the City thing. So Man
I knew
City
you'd chip in with this. You were scared of Saba, but now you want to chip in on City. Go on.
I imagine having Greasy in here. Mo would have a fit. Sava, Greasy against Mo. End of
okay.
day.
So it's
Go on, Mo.
Okay, so Man City started slow, as Daps said.
Every season, apart
Is
from
it because of
Centurions.
Haaland or not Haaland? They had to change the way they play on the pitch mid-season until they got this amazing run at the end, and they won everything.
Like every season except
Unbeatable.
Centurions. Yeah.
Okay, so the difference in this season is that you changed completely the way you play, changed the way people are on the pitch. Pep changed everything to make it work, which is good for him. With new players coming in next year, if Bernardo leaves, you'll have to start someone else on the right wing. Someone else comes in for Gundogan. And we just mentioned that other teams are strengthening as well. So if Arsenal had a head start with a better squad, or other team, a Liverpool or something, they go back.
All right.
To
So what you're saying is, hold on. So what you're saying is that because right now,
well, you didn't even let me finish. You're not
carry on going. Sorry, I thought you
said
no, carry on finishing. Then I thought you.
See, you're already rattled.
Don't argue over
already,
that.
I just mentioned.
Don't argue over that. Carry on. Don't argue over that. Carry on.
And he's rattled already, bro.
Mo, don't do that. Carry on the question.
I didn't do anything.
Sava, Cast, you two stop. I thought you'd finished. If
I've
you
not said
haven't,
anything.
no,
sorry.
so that I
Okay.
can let him finish. I thought you'd finished. I slightly think you pretty much had finished, but now you're going to waffle for a couple of seconds.
I'm sorry.
Finish.
I'm sorry. I'm going to waffle for a couple of seconds.
No, so finish the question. Finish the question.
Why we're not thinking that other teams can win the league as well?
Right, so exactly what I knew you were going to say. Okay,
so just let me say it's my question, not yours.
Okay, so what you're saying is that,
and it's not. The question is not for you.
Okay.
You're a City fan. Sorry. It's for other people.
Okay,
it's for them.
Oh, so you don't want me to answer it now?
What's the question?
To answer it.
I'll answer it. Do you want me to answer it? Do you want me to answer it?
No, I want to answer it. I want to answer it. No, I'm answering it.
I thought you wanted someone that wasn't City.
No. I'm going to answer it because Mo, what you just said there is no. Cass, you can't. Hold on. So the question was, I'm gonna really quickly summarize it. Mo said Man City have got loads of players coming in, right? And they're usually slow getting going. Arsenal might be quicker, right? So maybe that could mean that Arsenal might win the league. Now, my instant response is, so far Arsenal have bought Declan Rice, Havertz, and Timber, and potentially they're looking at one more player. That's 4 players, right? Manchester City have bought 1 player so far, right? So you're saying City, with all these new signings, how are they going to hit the ground running? But Arteta's going to make 4 signings to slot in instantly and start better than City. Is that what you're saying?
Might happen. Why not?
Okay. Can I give an outsider's perspective on this? Right?
No.
And no. Do you know what? Right? I hear this every year about City, and I don't know if any of you, Mo, you might have actually been on when I was on. What was it? The top 6 with Terry and that, and he had thousands of people in the chat, and everyone laughed. I think Man City were like 11 points behind Arsenal, and I sat there as people would say now. I put my chest out and I said, Man City are winning this league title. And everyone was going, oh my God, you don't know ball. You don't know ball, man. And I turned around and I said, you know why Man City are winning this title? Because everybody nowadays in football is knee-jerk. So what will happen this season, so what happened last season could potentially happen again. A team goes out in a blaze and they win 10 games out of 12 and everyone goes, oh my God, it's their year. And I'll say the same thing. A league is over 38 games. Yeah. Pep knows his squad. Pep knows how to manage it. Pep knows how to change it. Now, to your point of all, you said that they changed the way they played last year, and what happens this year, they might have to change. If Pep needs to change it, Pep will change it. Yeah. And this is the beauty. This is the thing. He's got such a good squad that they're capable of changing that. And everyone's saying they need to strengthen loads. They'd be the first people to have a go at City for just going out and buying 4 or 5 players when they don't need to.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, we can't say in one breath. Look, I keep reading a lot of comments from people, right, that are saying things like, because I'm a Spurs fan, I don't know about titles. But as a football fan, it's common sense. I see Man City do this every year, right? Winners.
Stop.
But hang on. Winners are winners for a reason. They're experienced. They know how to get over the line. When you've got a squad that win constantly and a manager that wins constantly and a board that are prepared to freshen up when freshen up is needed, yeah, that's what football is about. That's the difference between being a winner like Man City and doing what Arsenal did. Yeah, Arsenal were a very good team last year with no know-how to get. I said this, Daps, to you a million times. Kaz, you heard me say this. City had the know-how. They had the players. They had the depth. And more importantly, they had the manager that knows how to see them through that title race. Arsenal don't have a manager with winning experience. Arsenal, for me, have made some good signings, but I still don't look at them and think they're steeped with options all over the park. I don't think that they've got the options. I still feel like next season at the moment, I know he's not even signed yet. You take Declan Rice out that midfield next season, and their midfield 2 at the moment is going to be Partey and El Neni. Right? So for me, when people are saying, why can't anyone else win the league? Of course people can win the league. But if you're a betting man, if you're a sensible man, I don't know how you can look past Man City to win it again. But if they've got the appetite.
Can I just say as well? Sorry,
all
Kaz.
I asked is a question. I didn't.
No, I know. I was just offering an answer.
People think that you think I believe that. My job, one of the things, because I'm an outsider and don't support the team in the Premier League, is to provide maybe the angle that you guys are not talking about. That's what I did. Would I bet my money on Arsenal winning the league or Liverpool? No, I'll put my money on City winning the league, of course.
Why are you giving this speech? Why are you giving this speech?
No, because
we know what you did, bro.
Because a lot of people in the chat, right? Like, bro, you get it, right?
Are you not entertained? That's all you need to say to them.
Thank you so much.
Bro. Your job is to entertain.
Okay, let me do the super chat because it's related. Before we move on, the super chat is for you.
Sorry, can I just say, I had a City fan message me earlier saying, like, we won the treble, blah, blah, blah. What are the expectations next season? And this is what I said to him, and this is what I truly believe. Our expectations is to challenge in every competition. He said, oh, you're not going in thinking we must win the Premier League, we must win the Champions League. I said,
that's the expectation.
No, for me, it's a challenge on all fronts. Like, you can't, for me, I want to win everything, but I'm not naive enough to go in thinking, we are going to win everything next season. Like when someone said, oh, we're going to win, my expectations are to do the treble next season. I want to do the treble next season, but there's a reason why no one's done 2 trebles on a bounce. Like for me to come in now, being Little City and say, yeah, we're going to do 2 trebles is unrealistic. Like, so my expectations is just to be there or thereabouts.
But you say you
aren't Little City anymore. You're not Little City anymore. You want to treble the Champions
Everyone wants
League.
to call it
There are other clubs that call themselves very, very big clubs, and they have not even half that European success.
And some are called feeder clubs.
Well, what's the super chat?
Can any top 6 coach win the league with the City squad? Chris John is asking. I would let Cass answer.
I would say Klopp for one would be able to do it with the City squad for sure.
Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, that's Roy Hodgson. Maybe I don't know.
Postecoglou with Harry Kane.
I want to say Ten Hag as well, but I haven't seen him with his full-blown squad yet and tactics in the Prem because like at the end of the day, I like the way what he's doing for Man United, but at the end of the day, it's transition ball. Like with little bits and playing. I want to see what goes further than that. So I think Arteta would have a good chance, a very good chance. At winning the league with that squad, yeah, why not? He's still got you got Haaland.
I think they win it.
Let me just.
Would they play the football? Would they play the same style? That's the
guys.
I think they win it.
Almost 1,000 people here, guys. Almost 1,000 people. I think at least we need to be on 500 likes. This is free content. The like button look like this. It's thumbs up. It's free underneath your live chat. Seriously, if you don't know what it is, just ask your brother, your friend, or something. It's simple. It helps us push to the next person. It helps us massively. It's free for you, but it helps us massively to keep going.
Yeah, and we're nearly on 12,000 subscribers, by the way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Make sure you go check out Sava's channel in the pinned as well. He does exactly the same type of content, but it's more debate. There's no shameness. It's always good talk on there. Check me out on there every Tuesday if you find me cute. Yeah, I
never get invited, but fine.
Listen. You're always welcome. Everyone's welcome, man. I just like grown-up football chat. What I can't stand is like, when you get people in the comments that it's like, if anyone dares have a football opinion, but because their club doesn't win league titles, they don't know anything about football. It's like I always just look and think, oh God, oh you're one of them. But listen, anyone's always welcome to come on. I'll do content with all creators.
Okay, but
that's the
you
real
were saying
Saeed,
something before we
cheers.
move on to Chelsea.
Yeah, I want to flip
You
this.
were going to say something about
I wanted to flip this to Chelsea part. Now we're talking about
Oh,
like
it's coming back to
are
a
Man
thousand,
City taking
a
too
thousand
long for
viewers.
incoming, right? Are Chelsea taking too long for incoming transfer? Man City, sorry. And we say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Man City, they always start slow. They'll get things done, and it's Pep Guardiola. Now you have to switch it to Poch and Chelsea. They've only got Jackson in. They have, of course they're gonna make signings, but it's the timing of the signings. Can they afford to start slow with Chelsea Football Club if they want to be back on top in the top 4, right? Because
Does
season,
Poch need? This is a manager that you'd feel does need the preseason.
I don't feel like they're close. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been a big fan of Chelsea's transfer window so far, and Mo's obviously got his agenda against Chelsea. But along my lines, what I'm thinking of, you got Jackson, but you've got a whole midfield. You still need to get a DM. The Caicedo thing isn't any close at this moment of time. The Vlahovic stuff it's in talks. Everything's a bit talk. It's just talks here and talks there. And
sorry, can we just say as well? Let me throw this out to any Chelsea fans that are in the chat. Me and Cass are here to defend you, right?
Yeah.
Both of us of us think that Chelsea have done what they needed to do so far in the transfer window, which is, and I think most Chelsea fans was cut their squad, and also they've actually got quite good money for it. But we did try and get a couple of Chelsea representatives on because we know what Mo's going to be like towards Chelsea. So me and Cass are here to gatekeep.
Yeah, so the whole question is overall, it's not about will Chelsea have a good window. You got to remember the season starts in a few weeks, less than that maybe, or actually just about 3 weeks time, roughly, right? That's what I'm saying. To get going quickly, you need to get your preseason.
No, it's about 6 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah. No.
5 weeks.
Less.
Hang on.
What do you mean 5 weeks? The Premier League or the preseason?
I know it's got to be less because I go to Seville, not Seville. I go to Athens round about the 15th of August, and we will.
First game is the 11th. First game is the 11th.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks.
So what's that? 5 weeks.
4 weeks.
Four and a little bit. Yeah.
Charity Shield.
4 and a little one, yeah.
Because it's
4
30 days,
and a
isn't it? 31 days, something like that.
Oh my God.
Days.
I'll take the little one.
I'm saying,
I want these 10 seconds back, bro.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, can they afford to? Because you know what, with Chelsea fans, what I've known for them to be is a bit impatient. And after the season just had, I'm pretty sure they want to get going fast. And with Pochettino, if you want to win your fans over, or a manager that's just come in, you want to get started quick. Don't you think, Kaz, with that?
If I say anything, I'm gonna pivot from being a Man City fan to a Chelsea fan. Now that's just how it's going to be. Don't you think that after what happened last year, I think what Daps just said, Chelsea needed, before they did anything, they needed to have this clear out. They needed to know who was going, and they've got rid of they're winning the transfer exit window, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now,
course, yeah.
I reckon in the next 2 weeks, you're going to start seeing, I reckon you're going to see 3 big signings from Chelsea. I think you're going to see a keeper. I think you're going to see Caicedo, and I think you're going to see another forward player. Plus, they've already got Nkunku through the door, right? I think they're going to be, I said this all last year, I think they'll be fine. Pochettino.
His first game's up against Klopp, by the way.
What was his first season like at Tottenham?
Well, tough because he was just trying to get rid of loads of deadwood. So it was a bit iffy.
Yeah.
It was a bit iffy. Whereas now at Chelsea, they've got rid of all the old players, left him with, he's got, other than Thiago Silva, look at the age of that squad now. Yeah. And he'll mold them. The problem is, as I've said to my Chelsea mates, is Chelsea are used to winning. In the last 2 decades, they've won more than any other club in this country. But as I keep saying to them, you're not there right now. So you're now in unknown territory where you shouldn't be winning every year at the moment. You've needed this for many, many years. You're now getting that. Take your time. Use this year where you're not in Europe to build an 11. Obviously, you're going to have players behind that, but get yourself an 11 that play once a week. You know, they'll love the way Poch plays. You know, he is an attacking manager that presses with young, hungry players. I think they'll be okay, and I think they'll get a few in the next couple of windows. Yeah. Romano's just posted as well about Vlahovic. I don't know if you guys have seen
Oh,
that.
we've been saying that
Yes.
we thought Vlahovic suits them. Do you
So
know?
yeah, they said he's about to leave, but for the right price, for a serious
Well, that's
bidder.
fine. Chelsea,
But let's
will
be
pay the
honest,
right
Chelsea are
price.
not, they're not
Exactly.
Tottenham.
I think they're gonna get their guy. I think
I
they're gonna
think so.
get their guy. But I wanted to ask Sava a question about this. Now, Pochettino with your squad and your club developed a lot of players over the years. Had Eriksson coming from Ajax, and he left as a superstar, in my opinion. Harry Kane, Dele Alli, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
But he didn't take you over the line. Like, he didn't actually get the job done at the end, and he got fired. Do you think that this is his time now to deliver on the big stage instead of being the coach that will only develop Chelsea?
That was a shit question. Sorry, that was a rubbish question. I thought you were gonna slander him. That was way too.
I can slam the Pochettino, but
Look, I think that's always going to be what hangs over Pochettino's head, right? Is at Tottenham he did develop us. He did. He came in, and from that I say famous 11, it never won anything, but it was very, at the time it should have. That's my criticism of Poch, was that he didn't get us over the line. However, what I will say is what Poch was never given at Spurs was a squad, right? So we had a very good 1-11, almost like Arsenal last year. It's very similar. We got loads of points, played really good football. Everyone liked watching us. But when one of those first team players got injured, the player coming in behind, the drop-off was severe. Now, I don't think he'll have that problem at Chelsea, but I wouldn't expect anything I wouldn't expect like to be winning things next year. If they let him build a team next year that can get back into the top 5 and get Champions League football, Chelsea will go again. That's where the question is, Mo. When he is then backed with Champions League signings with top players, can he get it over the line? And
you know the problem with this, Sava, is that they already signed the players in January when Potter was there. They signed Enzo, they signed Nkunku, they signed Modric, they signed Sterling last year, Badiashile. All of these are players. I'm assuming that even if Todd Bowley went and did these signings by himself, I'm assuming that he at least consulted Potter that, do you want this player? And I don't think that Potter and Pochettino are the same coach. Like, he might not want these players, but he has to work with them because they spent a lot of money on
I don't think there's too many there he wouldn't want to work with. I mean, if you look at it, Enzo Fernandez is class. He's a quality footballer. Nkunku, I can't imagine any manager in world football saying, nah, actually, I don't want to work with him.
Yes.
You've got Reece James at right back, Ben Chilwell at left back, Badiashile, Fofana, and Thiago Silva as centre-back options. If they get in Moises Caicedo, I can't imagine any manager saying no to that.
Yeah.
What Poch will be good at is, I think he'll work really well with the likes of Gallagher if he stays, with the likes of Madueke, Mudryk. That's where he is very good as a coach. He's a brilliant coach. Can he get it over the line? I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Do you know? I think as well. Just Sava said a minute ago about him coming in and him, getting rid of the players. I really think with Pochettino, right, that he will have gone to Chelsea, and I think any manager really and truly has had to go with this approach after what's happened over the last year or so. We've seen from Todd Bowley that he's got in a sporting director, and it seems to be working well, right? It seems to be he had his first year as a football manager, or even 9 months, and it hasn't been plain sailing. Maybe he's learned a thing or two about managing a football or owning a football club. I think Poch will have gone in there and been very clear this time, right? Because Poch has been bitten. He's been bitten maybe a little bit by Levy. He's definitely been bitten at PSG. I feel that Poch in this role will have gone to the Chelsea job and said, look, I'm interested. I want the job, but I need some reassurances from you. Like, you've made signings before I got here, and I will come in with a clear mind, and I will study them. I will look into them, but I need to know that whatever I need to do, you need to back me on it. So, because I will bring you the quality of football that you want to see, but don't expect me to bring it in a year. Don't expect me to win a trophy. Don't expect me to win a league in a year. You gave Potter 5 years because you wanted a long-term plan, right? It hasn't worked out. I'm not asking you to give me 5 years, but don't expect me to do it in one.
In 1 year. That's what's wrong with fans. That's what's wrong with fans, Daps. The Chelsea fans won't wait. I think they're used to having like world class footballers throughout the squad. They're not that anymore. They're now a young team. Forget how much money they've spent. They're still all young players that need to be coached, and I think that is what he's very good at. And look, you know, by the way, I've seen people saying, "Can we ask Sava about the interview?" I don't care about the interview. He's not my manager. I don't care. I don't understand any Tottenham fan getting upset by a manager going into their new club and saying nice things about the club that pays them. Just mind blowing.
People get attached, bro. People get attached.
Sava's too old for
much.
this. Sava's from
too-
a
oh,
generation
yeah.
where this type of stuff doesn't. Yeah.
Overone,
Unfortunately, I'm about the same age, but I'll get rattled easier. So
Overone says, "Send me the link. I'll hop on." Mo is waffling. That was a little
he
bit.
actually said that before Mo had actually said much.
Yeah, not to be fair. Like, on a call-in show, when the call-in shows come, don't worry, you have every chance to rattle Mo as much as possible. And then Tiang Yang said, "Mo, why do you like Badia Shile?"
Young, reads the game, very strong, and very good left center back. I think he can be a top defender.
Yeah,
It's as simple as like I think he slotted in from January and looked like he has been practicing with them and training with them for the whole year. So for me, that's a good sign, to be honest.
yeah. And the last question I'm going to ask, quick yes or no's: can Chelsea afford to move to start slow when the Premier League starts?
Yeah,
No, I don't think
Chelsea's fan base won't be happy, but
That's
I don't think they can for the fans.
yeah.
Based on everything people are saying, that it's a free hit year and there is no expectations. Oh, they spent money, but who cares about the 600 million, and Pochettino needs to be given time. If they start slow and at the end and they come to like fourth or fifth or even sixth, that's progression.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You were
Mo's,
positive about them spending money. Jesus.
if anyone wants to know Mo's weakness, just talk rubbish on Inter Milan. That's all you got to do. But guys, appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Make sure you check out Sava's channel in the pinned. If you've closed the pinned, just reopen it. You can go see his channel. Go check him out. Plenty of times it's been posted in the chat. You can scroll up and you'll see it just recently as well. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you wash your toes tonight. It's been a hot day. Don't want it to stink, man. Your bed, you might have to wash your bed sheets if you ain't washed your feet. And yeah, man, thanks for watching. And I suppose we'll be back.